Here I am. See?
That's nice.
That's the new roller rink, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the sports complex going in.
Exactly. It's my disco place. There we
Oh,
go.
wow.
Well, I'm in a video game.
So I'm showing you all of the options that are available.
When I signed on, it was there, so I'm not touching it.
I love it. That's awesome. I look like I'm in jail.
Oh, yeah. Look at that one. Boy, I wish I could find that button.
I just need to go back to what I'm really. Let's do none. There we go. Back to my old self. There we go.
No, I don't have anything like that.
That's funny.
All right, 6 o'clock. You should call the meeting to order, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we have a quorum.
Yeah.
Jeremy, did you get sworn in today?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How about you, Charlie?
I did not.
Okay. I don't really think you're voting on anything, so it probably doesn't matter at this point. But you will need to get sworn in by the town clerk at some point.
So am I supposed to contact them for that to happen?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
I believe she
misunderstanding
sent
that-
out an email.
She sent out an email, but I thought that they would be contacting me or that we would be doing it virtually. I didn't realize it was something that I had to set up.
I'm not sure if you can do it virtually. You might be able to if she sends you the paperwork, but you're shaking your head no.
They actually told me that they would not be able to do it virtually. You do have to go down to the town hall.
Oh.
Okay.
It took literally like 5 minutes to do, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I can easily do it. I was under the impression that I didn't realize it was something I had to set up. I thought that they were going to be contacting me.
Hey, it's John. When I had to do it, Chet and I did.
America.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. When I say that every time, it's like the jammer because you all are saying it, and I'm like, I forget what's
You
next.
sound terrible. I don't know why my screen is frozen.
You are frozen.
I can see it though.
It's weird.
All
Oh,
right,
here it is. Change virtual background.
There you go.
there you go.
found it. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna read the right to know checklist. In accordance with the Governor's Emergency Order Number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, the Goffstown Economic Development Committee will utilize the emergency meeting provisions of RSA 91-A to conduct meetings with electronic means while preserving the extent feasible the public's right to notice of such meetings and ability to observe and listen contemporaneously. Public access meeting by telephone call 603-766-JOIN or 5646, participant code 785-645 #. Problems with access. Residents experiencing problems with access during the meeting are asked to call 603-384-3624. Watch the meeting live on Goffstown Television Channel 22 or GTV Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Goffstown TV. Facebook will not be monitored for public participation during public comment. Residents interested in participating in public comment should call the public telephone access number. Town of Goffstown Right to Know meeting checklist. As chair of the Economic Development Committee, due to COVID-19 outbreak and in accordance with the Governor's News Emergency Order Number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this board is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location and to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting which was authorized pursuant to the Governor's Emergency Order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that there are providing public means to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or electronic means. The town will utilize the WebEx platform for the electronic meeting. The public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following telephone number: 603-766-JOIN or 5646, and using the participant code 785645, followed by the pound sign. Providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. The town previously gave notice to the public on how to access the meeting using the available telephone number with the posted agenda. C, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem with telephone access, please call 603-384-3624. D, adjourning the meeting and the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled at that time. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance when each member states their presence. Also, please state whether there's anyone in the room during this meeting, which is required under right to know law. Wow. We'll start with Joanne. She gone? Disappeared.
She just disappeared.
Excellent. All right, with Charlie.
Charlie Birchmeyer, and there is no one present in the room.
Bonnie.
Bonnie Gavin, Vice Chair, and there is no one in the room.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Jones, alternate, and I am alone.
Mark.
Mark Stevens, alternate member, and I am the only one in the room.
Chet.
Chet Bowen, Select Board Rep, and I'm the only one in the room.
Jonathan.
John Napoli, member, and I am the only one currently in my car.
All right. And it looks like Joanne's back. We're just taking roll call. Joanne.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble here. I'm here.
There you are.
I'm back. And there's no one in the room but my dogs.
You mean Lair? Greg Rodriguez, Chair, and I am the only one in my room. Okay. All right. Did that. All right. So, having reviewed the minutes, does anybody have any recommendation for changes, or if not,
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. There you go. Do I have a second of that motion?
Second.
All right. Mark. You say second?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know it. Charlie, do you approve?
Yes.
And Jeremy, did you vote in? Was it you that didn't vote in, or sworn in, or was it Charlie?
It was me that wasn't sworn in, so I didn't think I was approving anything. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll go Jeremy.
Approve.
Okay. Chet?
Yep.
John?
Yes, approved.
Okay. And Joanne?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Hey, that was your first one, Jeremy. Congratulations. Charlie, you'll have to wait till the next one. All right. So we're going to go with updates to the Facebook page. I believe this is Joanne, you were with Jonathan and Chet for this one, right?
It was actually Chet and Jonathan. I speak with Derek briefly, like 2 months ago when we first talked about having a separate page for economic development. He was throwing out some ideas as to what you could be posting, which, I have a list of ideas that you could cover beyond just economic development. You could talk about, beneficial things that the town has to offer, like the rail trail and things like that too. But I don't know if this has gone any further as far as getting approval for this.
Yeah, so this is Chet. We've had approval to do something with Facebook as an EDC for quite some time now. The issue is content. We don't have any content. And so what Derek and I spoke about, and I spoke with Jonathan after, and Jonathan, please keep me honest, but when I spoke with Derek, the concern is the EDC has been talking about a Facebook page for quite some time without providing any content for said Facebook page. And the idea that we would have our own, maybe post something once and then no one sees anything for 3 to 4 months is not really what we want to be putting out there. So as a pilot program, and Derek and I spoke about this at some length, as a pilot program, Derek and I agree that what we should do is use the town page, the town Facebook page, post to that page. I think Joanne would be the sort of the vehicle to do that. We provide Joanne with the content. Joanne posts on the Facebook page. And once we recognize that we're actually posting it, I think it's a minimum of once a week, or else we sort of look like we're not really in tune with what's happening. We make one post a week. If we do that, then I think we can spin off into our own Facebook page with clear parameters about what is okay to post and what is not. But at that point, I think we would have a pretty good sense for what we're doing. And in addition to Joanne's separate ideas, I think that, with COVID and the different potential paycheck protection programs, all those things that are being talked about now, what a great way to share that information for all the businesses in town, in addition to all the other things that Joanne's already doing and trying to reach out to. Jonathan and I talked, and Jonathan, if you want to sort of let them know how our conversation went, we can go from there.
Yeah, so really what we're talking about in the benefits of having, hopefully eventually our own dedicated Facebook page is really being able to have more of the communication that is in our business's face. So, a lot of the businesses in our town have their Facebook page, and if we're able to have our messages show up in their news feed, it's more of a active push of our information versus right now having all of the businesses have to find the Goffstown page and then navigate through to find some of the useful material. So, some of the things that we've talked about recently, getting the word out for folks who've been trying to get businesses to join, to come to some of these meetings and present some of their, concerns or questions at this forum, and being able to put real-time information out there that drops into their feeds of this is when our meeting's coming up. We've talked about increasing the transparency of some of the requirements that new businesses have when they come to town. And, if we're able to develop some of those tools, we can have just, quick, couple liners on the Facebook page that directs folks over to the website where we might have some more information. And so it's really just to have more of an active presence out, a push versus having to try to pull some folks in. And that's really where we're trying to find value and being able to more actively, collect real-time data from our businesses so that we can use that as a tool to aggregate some of that feedback, assess some of the themes that our businesses have, and be able to go back, to town council with some of the with some of the common themes or things that we think in the committee that we can do. So basically, just more, a way to have a more in your face for our businesses avenue to provide us some information, for us to provide them information as items come up. And just like you said, like with the CARES package, if there's more stimulus programs, we can give more real-time information without having to rely on folks finding it on the website.
Awesome. Do we have an approval process for that? Is it just go through Derek first and then gets posted, or is there a final arbiter of who approves it?
Yeah, so right now, as I understand it, it's Joanne. If Joanne has any questions about, Joanne's been doing this for a long time, she'll know.
Okay.
If Joanne has any questions and has, any concerns, she could go to Derek. And then if Derek still is concerned, he can bring it back to the select board. But for the most part, if Joanne approves it, it can be posted on the town page. And the other thing, and thank you, John, for mentioning this, the other piece is that as a town page, we can invite town businesses to like us, which in fact will put what we throw out there into their feed fairly regularly. Jonathan, I appreciate you that you remembered that piece that we talked about. So that I think is probably the most important piece.
That's awesome. That's really, really good.
So what are our next steps here, Chet? So is this officially approved? Can we start sending content to the town Goffstown page now and just kind of introduce ourselves, or is that still being discussed of
It's
actual?
not. We can go. We could have done this part quite a while ago, and you know, I think it just stalled out at times. But this is something we could send Joanne some content, and Joanne could make an approval. The suggestion probably would be just an introduction. Say, hey, the Goffstown Economic Development Council will now be regularly posting on the town page. We invite businesses to like us. If you're looking for information, please visit not only the official town website, but also look to the town Facebook page for Economic Development Council updates, which will be there regularly. You know, something like that we can articulate. We shoot that over to Joanne. She can approve it. They can post it, and then we can start inviting. Joanne can start. Joanne, I understand that you have access to the town page and can invite businesses to like us, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so we can start doing that immediately. The real concern is just that we have to make sure we're posting once a week or so. And you know, Jonathan, I think, again, keep me honest, said that he would try his best to get some content out there. I also think Bonnie has met with so many businesses. She could provide us probably, without even blinking, the number of things that we could post. So the more that we could send to Joanne to sort of front load what we might put out there, right? And then as actual things come up in real time, we can post pretty immediately.
There's just a suggestion, and I got this from Adam McCune, who actually manages our Facebook page. A photo of some sort of graphic usually helps whenever you're posting something, because it brings, you know, the eyes to look at it versus just strictly text.
So what I can do, Joanne, I'll write something up and I'll send it to a couple of folks just to kind of proofread, and then you know, if we're in agreement and you want to post it off and kick off. So I'll write up a little introduction and links to our EDC page on the Goffstown site, and I'll send that over.
Okay.
I'll do that in the next couple of days.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. I think this is, I think we finally have the motivation to post now. I think also the clarifying part about what we can post, I think that was always up in the air, but now that we have, I guess, go ahead. I mean, we've always had it, but I guess now that we have a clearer understanding of what we can post, I think this is good.
I think the obstacle was trying to have a separate Facebook page strictly for the Economic Development Committee.
Yeah.
Which is still the goal. I want to be really clear. The goal still is that we have our own separate page. Once we have an abundance of material and a confidence that we'll be able to post at least on a weekly basis.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody want to add anything else for the Facebook page before we move on to contact list? No? Okay. Contact list? Joanne, is that you? Contact list?
Am I assuming it might be me?
It is Bonnie.
Okay, I didn't see anybody's name next to it, so I was
the contact list consists of about 330 businesses, which is pretty awesome in our town. Joanne provided me with that, and I have started calling. I really would like to do some pop-bys. I'd like to just kind of go into a business, maybe take a photo, and just see what they're doing. It just seems that like a lot of the businesses have been closed, or they haven't reopened, or they're partly opened. I've had a hard time reaching some of them. You know, like the insurance, like Allstate Insurance, she's still working. I mean, she's working every day. So she's a typical business that works every day. But you get into like the Shaking Crab, they've limited hours. So I think they're all just trying to make it. It's really hard. It's hard for them right now. And that's what I'm hearing. It's really hard. And my fear is that if we really do get hit with another wave and we get shut down completely again, I don't know what some of these businesses are going to do. So I have the contact list. I've been working with it. Of course, my time is a little limited too because I do work full time, but I'm, making my way through. So, I mean, I don't know what else I could be doing. But,
I think you're doing enough, Bonnie.
okay, well, that's good. I mean, I feel bad for these businesses. I really do.
Yeah.
I went into Auburn Hardware the other day and they were pretty busy. I think that's just one of the businesses that are always going to be busy because it's a little local business.
Right.
Same with the Ace Hardware store. Same with Apotheca. I met at Apotheca and had coffee with a group of people. So it's everybody's feeling it. So that's it for the contact list. I'll just keep plugging along.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Yeah.
All right. EDC, or I guess these are Joanne's updates right now, so I'll let you plow through them.
Okay. We had a pop-up from LL Bean, if some of you may have had a chance to get over there. It was very successful. It was yesterday and today. It was supposed to only be for one day, but they were doing so well and having fun, and they commented to me that everyone was so nice to them that they decided to stay for another day. So that went off very, very well. What's today's Wednesday? Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. we have a meeting, a virtual meeting with Strong Towns. Hopefully it's a forum. So far, I think 50 some odd people have signed up. You don't need to sign up to join. So there may be others that come in at the forum itself, but it starts at 6 p.m. and it's been organized by AARP and Strong Towns. AARP is actually the sponsor, and Goffstown was chosen to participate in this event. So we're thankful that they're doing this for us. And if any of you are available, and you can find the link on the town's Facebook page. I've posted it several times on there. If you can't find it, just let me know. And if you would like to join, it's only for an hour from 6 to 7. So
I signed up for that, Joanne.
Yes, I saw your name.
Okay.
So if you're interested and you have the time, please sign up or at least attend it. Planning board recently approved the Easy Car Wash down on Mast Road. So the plan has been signed. It's going to be recorded tomorrow, so they're going to begin construction right after. The solar farm, if you've heard about the solar farm on 114 and Shirley Hill Road, that's currently under construction. As you drive by, heading towards Bedford to your right, you can actually see the solar arrays under construction currently. And the planning board also approved a preschool daycare on Mast Road, which was the former site of New Morning School. It's over on Wallace Road. Excuse me, it's over on Wallace Road. So that building was for sale, and the applicant has put in a purchase and sale. So that will probably be moving forward shortly. I did get the contract extension today, or was it yesterday, from UNH Cooperative. So I've sent it over to Derek for approval. So those funds can be encumbered. The contract will go for the full year of 2021. So Stephen Mino said that as soon as they're able to, and the virus is under control, we can start having those roundtable discussions with the Pinardville business owners. I don't think I have anything else at this time. That's about it. We did have one other thing. We did have a business who wanted to have a 2-day event, sort of a holiday fair of sorts, and there were some issues with it that I've talked to Chet about, and I'm hoping that these sorts of things can go more smoothly in the future. Even if a few of us have to maybe put our heads together and figure out how to make these types of things happen without lots of, delays and things. So it's frustrating to say the least. But I did stop into the Night Owl, which is a new business on Main Street. It's a quilting shop, sewing quilting, and they seem to be doing very, very well. They opened previously, right before COVID came, and they've been holding their own, and they've been so good with promoting themselves. So I think a lot of what these businesses maybe could use some help on in the future is maybe we could either, if any of you are really familiar with social media and how to promote a business, or we can get someone in to talk to them. I think we'd probably do some sessions for them and just kind of guide them through, because many people aren't savvy when it comes to that kind of thing. But this particular business has been unbelievably successful with it.
I did see something on one of the other Facebook pages about their window and how they've decorated their windows. So that might be something good we could maybe do sometime along, a contest for a window or something.
Right.
How they decorate.
She mentioned something about it was happening last year, but I guess they weren't ready to participate, but I don't know who ran that. It must have been the Main Street program. So
Do they just primarily have a social media presence? Is that how they promote themselves, or is that they?
So far, that's what they've been doing, and they have all sorts of events going on, and they participated in Small Business Saturday, and they're really, really doing a wonderful job in trying to get their name out there. They're very active with that. And they had a line on Small Business Saturday. There was a line going down the sidewalk to get into the place. So they're doing something right.
You sure it wasn't Convenient MD on the weekends for COVID testing?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Maybe we can pick their brain on what strategies they use just to help other business, because business drives business. So.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I think we just set the world record for shortest EDC meeting.
Mr. Chair, one last thing. I know people may be wanting to go, but I do have one last thing. What Joanne mentioned.
Okay, go ahead, Chet.
It's really just a statement for the record that I think when I look at past EDC goals and I see things like the Economic Development Self-Assessment Tool from the Northeastern University Dukakis Center for Urban and Regional Policy, and I see these kinds of goals. And then I see, and this is no one's fault, no one's being malicious, but then I see within this small town, we can't get out of our own way sometimes when we try to do something good for the local businesses. I think what we can do, and I think it's within our rights to do, is maybe change our goals and maybe focus specifically on finding ways to coordinate within our own town, to coordinate with the other boards that sometimes, they stand on their own, such as the planning board, such as, fire, and really find a way for us to help them communicate what they need so we get things out there so that no business is surprised. You never want a business who wants to do something positive in our community so that they can increase economic development or maybe say some really great things about what it's like to be a business in Goffstown. We never want them to be surprised at the last minute that something is going wrong and they may have to cancel, and that means they have to tell all of their stakeholders and say, hey, I know I said this is happening and now it's not. That is the most frustrating thing in the world for a business. And I say that, and I want to be clear, no one is doing this on purpose. No one is going out there and saying, I want to stop economic development, but there is a very significant coordination problem that I think can be addressed, and I really feel that EDC has to lead the way. is all of these goals that we've had in the past. I don't know that the question has been asked, analyzed, any solutions looked for about how we can get other boards, ironically, on board with us in economic development. So I do think we should, take a step back from some of these large goals and really look internally and say, what can we do to speak with the other boards, with the fire department, with all these places about how we can make sure that anyone who wants to do something economically in this town is prepared, they're ready to go, and that there are no surprises. Surprises are really the big responsible for a lot of downturn in specific business opportunities. But just bring that on the record. We can talk about it on the agenda next time. I'm going to hopefully talk with Joanne a little bit more in between this meeting and next about that. And Mr. Chair, if you could be on that call too, that would be great.
Sure.
Putting that out there now. Thank you.
I think that goes, what you're saying, that goes what we were talking about before about trying to be, making the information in pages like a punch list and all that more transparent and available to the public. So going off of what you were saying, I think we're on the right track.
And a lot of it has to do more with COVID right now because the businesses are trying to be a little bit more creative on what they can do to survive. And I got a request today from one of the Main Street businesses. They wanted to know, so they said that not everyone wants to go in and purchase food. They don't want to walk into the business itself. They'd rather do curbside pickup. However, this business does not have a parking lot. It has street parking, which is, obviously doesn't belong to them. It's street parking for the public. And they have the town parking lot nearby. So they wanted to know if they could mark some parking within the street for their curbside pickup. And I already know the answer would be no. So I thought, well, maybe the select board could grant them 1 or 2 spaces near their business in the town parking lot temporarily during the pandemic for the curbside pickup. Now, I don't know if this is doable, but it's a way to solve their problem. And obviously it wouldn't go on forever. Once things are cleared, that obviously they wouldn't be doing curbside pickup any longer. Most restaurants aren't really doing that at the moment, but this particular restaurant wanted to offer that. So I think we need to be more flexible in trying to find ways to address these issues. Because, they're struggling really badly, especially the restaurants.
Chet, what is the temperature of the select board with something like that?
I wish I could answer that question with some confidence. I know that the select board right now, if you just look at our last meeting, everyone is aware that people are hurting, businesses are hurting. We're being very careful about the tax rate setting. We understand and feel the pain of everyone in the town. But then sometimes, as I just said, as a matter of fact, sometimes you offer a solution that Joanne just did, and there might be an ordinance against that or some law from 1973 that someone mentions that goes against that. So I would like to say it's something we would discuss and talk about. I also think another role for the EDC might be to advocate, allow businesses to talk to us and we can be advocates, and maybe the EDC could write a letter to the select board that I certainly could back up and explain about why the EDC believes that this should be granted. The one thing we want to be careful of always, of course, is, and I think Joanne mentioned that this is the only business right now that wants to do this, so it's probably not a big deal, but if this becomes for one business and then we don't do it for all, who may want the same thing, it could be a major problem. So that's a serious consideration that I know the select board will take up. But as the EDC, we could advocate for this particular business for this particular thing if we feel that's appropriate.
Understood. Bonnie?
Have we ever looked into the New England Economic Development Incorporated and/or there's another one out there. The name of it is, let me tell you what it is, New England Economic Development Corp, and one's INC. They have some really, they have some consulting services to municipalities in the field of economic development. And I'm wondering if it might be a resource for us to maybe take a look at what they can provide to help us as a small town. So, I mean, they both those websites, I've looked at both of them, and they seem to have some really good ideas about transparency, about how we can help small businesses. So I'm just throwing it out there. Okay.
Sure, it's worth looking into.
Yeah. So one is called NEEDSINC. So NEEDS. That's the New England Economic Development. And then the other one is ebcne.org. So take a look at both of those and just, I'm just throwing it out there.
From my understanding, one of the things that tomorrow night's webinar is supposed to offer us ideas as far as trying to relax some things during the pandemic for businesses, and they especially even like people who want to do home businesses. There's more people working from home right now, to not make it difficult for that type of thing. The town has to follow the rules that they have, but I think if we all work together and realize that certain things can possibly be waived for the time being, I think everyone would be okay with that as long as it didn't cause problems.
So do you want something to adjourn?
If nobody has any other comments.
I just had one quick one, Greg. I didn't know how we were, given that we're at the end of the year. It's hard to believe we're in December. Our budget's all set? Are we allowed to carry over, or do we spend it all on the co-op, or what the situation is there? Just want to make sure we're squared away.
We didn't spend anything this year, right?
Just a few, but I think
Yeah.
The monies for the UNH cooperative would hopefully be carried over to next year, because we do have a contract. And as long as Derek approves the extension of that contract, we should be fine with that. But other than that, any other monies that were remaining in the year would go back to the general fund. They would be gone from our budget.
Do you know how much that is, Joanne, off the top of your head?
The budget was $5,000.
Yep.
And I don't have anything in front of me right now, but I could share it with you through email. I believe we only spent a few hundred, not very much.
Is there any way that we can, and Mark, that's a great question. Is there any way that we can get that money to stay with our budget? I mean, I know that it goes back in, but maybe we can contract with the co-op a little bit more.
Yeah, you would have to have a contract in order to encumber the funds.
Yeah.
Even, I don't know, we still have a few thousand left. Just throwing this out there. Hire a social media consultant just to give us pointers on that stuff, just so we can throw something on the Facebook pages and give it to businesses. Just for advertising for the time being.
Greg, I would just offer, rather than just tossing money out there, that one of the principal reasons that I was interested in this board is because marketing is my background. And I had already, through the grapevine from a couple of different members, that was something that the council was seeking to expand on. So
right.
I think there's several of us who have familiarity with social media. It's kind of been my bread and butter for a lot of years now. So I'll throw that out there before we think about cutting checks to an outside person.
Absolutely. Totally down with that.
So is that something that can be done before the end of the year for budget purposes, that we can work with Jeremy to have him provide some services? That's not a conflict of interest, is it?
Oh, no, I apologize if that was unclear. I did not in any way mean that as a contracted offer.
Well, come on. We're looking to you.
As my membership on the council, that's something I'm happy to offer.
Okay.
I understand it'd be nice to get those funds encumbered so that we can keep them. But at the same time, I'd like to see it go to something that is going to be truly useful that none of us can take.
Okay.
It's a nice offering. Thank you, Jeremy.
Mm.
Not to change the subject, but we also have a resignation that I don't know if all of you saw it. I sent it late today. Steve Langley has resigned. So there's someone who told me that they were interested about a month ago, who used to be on this council several years ago. Dick, I don't know if you know Dick Bruno. So I asked him if he was still interested, and if he is, he could fill out the paperwork, and we can bring it up at the next meeting. He recently ran for state rep.
As a part of that process, I had in our last meeting offered to come on as an alternate at that time because there was only one full member and one alternate position open. I'll just also offer that I am willing to come on full rather than stay as an alternate as well. So
okay,
think about that as well.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Do you need anything for Steve Langley's with regret? That we accept that?
You can certainly make a motion to accept his resignation with regret.
Okay, right. So I make that motion.
All right. Okay. Second of that motion?
Seconded.
All right. Jeremy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Chet?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Okay.
With resignation with regret for Steve Langley. All right. So Steve was a full-time member, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do we need to make a motion for Jeremy to become a full member now too?
That was exactly what I was going to do next.
All right. So I'd like to make a motion. Actually, I can make a motion, right?
To make a motion to recommend to the select board.
Yeah, I make a motion for Jeremy for full member status. Do I have a second?
Second.
Bonnie?
That was Chet, I think.
Oh, that was
me.
That was
it was John. Okay.
Okay. All right, Bonnie?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't think Jeremy can vote on himself, but Mark?
Yes.
Chet?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
And I also vote to confirm. So this has to go to the select board now for voting there. Excellent. Do we have any other business? Like spontaneous business? No? Okay.
How about a motion to end the meeting and have a very happy, Merry Christmas and New Year. See you next year.
All right, sounds good. Do we have a second of that motion? Jonathan, say it.
I got it. However, on the agenda, I will note that it does say the next meeting's January 6th, 2121. So, Steve, 100 years ago.
I have a little less hair and it might be a little grayer by then.
I'd probably be a little gaunt, too. So.
I'll be 6 feet under.
All
right, so we have a second. All right, Jeremy?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Chet?
Yes.
All right. All right. I also vote. Have a great holiday and safe holiday. Take care, all.
Bye. Have a good one.
All right.